Good morning, everybody. I apologise for the delay in coming on this morning, but we've had a few technical difficulties, but we're now streaming live to you, to your home, here from the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. And I'd like to welcome our new medium for today, new in the sense that it's the first time he's been with us at Wimbledon Church, Marcus Lapsa. Welcome, Marcus. I hope you have a lovely morning. I know we've had some technical issues between us all, but we're here today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome you all and stay with us and share as much as you can so we can spread the word of spiritualism and Spiritual Psychics TV so we can go forward with our movement as far as we possibly can. So I would ask you now to go silent for stillness for a moment of time while I open our meeting with prayer. Great architect of the universe, unseen but ever present, but ever manifest in thy creation, we enter into your homes and your hearts this day, bringing the light and countenance of spiritual truths. We ask you to be with us, to guide us, to strengthen us during this time of service. May you enlighten our hearts and our minds to become instruments of thy peace upon this world, so we can go forward with the light and truth of spiritualism as we know it. So, Father God, into thy hands we commend the spirits of we thy children, to thy safekeeping, knowing with thee at all times thy will shall always be done. Amen.
Good morning. Like to join me in the saying of the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Friends, let's keep that prayerful thought, that continual thought of love and guidance, and let's pray for those people whose names are deeply inscribed on our hearts and our minds, of healing of mind, body and spirit. For those nations that have had trauma through hurricanes, especially we think of Louisiana, and other countries around the world. We think of all the trials and tribulations that this world is going through at this moment in time, and we send out the light and the truth of spiritualism. But we specifically pray this morning for Jim, a member of our church who's recovering from an operation, from Phil, who's recovering also from an operation some weeks ago, to Enzo and his mum, Lulu, and the rest of the family who need our healing prayers. For Amber, Kelly and Stephen, may they receive the power and the ministrations of the angels, so they may be healed of mind, body and spirit. So we now enter into a short healing silence. Father God, in praying for our patients and those who we need, and we know within your heart and your mind that through divine law healing can be administered. But we also pray for those who administer healing, spiritual healers, therapists, doctors, nurses, healers all. May they be guided in their work. May they be strengthened by the comfort that there is a divine power working through them, and that they are part of your work upon this earth. We ask you now, in thy name, to bring healing to all those people I have read out this morning. Also for those people that are inscribed deeply on our hearts and our minds, that need the healing power. But though they're absent here from this church, they're not absent from God. So once again, We place their names in these people in the prayers of the Spirit, knowing with thee, through divine law, all things will be made well. So mote it be. Amen.
And a welcome from myself, Jackie Robinson, this morning. And the reading that I'm going to do is from a book called Light from Silver Birch, one of our great philosophers of spiritualism, through the mediumship of Maurice Barbanel. Guiding Lights. Questioned about spirit guides, whose voluntary mission is to aid their beloved earthly charge along the pathway to enlightenment, Silver Birch returned to the simile of a diamond. It is a rather complex subject. I would prefer to use the word individuality rather than personality. I draw distinctions between the personality, which is physical, and the individuality, which is the soul or spiritual makeup, the reality behind the mask, so to speak. Persons are persons so far as your world is concerned, but you cannot separate spirituality in the same way. There are, for example, affinities, two kindred halves of one soul, and sometimes they incarnate at the same time. There are also what I call facets of one diamond. This is the oversoul, the greater individuality, and the facets are aspects of it which are incarnate into your world through experiences that will add luster to the diamond when they return to it. Also, there are people who, although separate persons, are aspects of one individuality. For instance, my medium, his wife and myself are part of one individual. So you can have facets of the one guide. You can call these extensions if you like, but it comes to the same thing. Only an infinitesimal part of a whole individuality can be manifest in physical form on earth. As guidance streams from the Great Spirit, ambassadors from the hierarchy and other enlightened beings who are kindred souls, as far as you are concerned, attach themselves to you, sometimes before you were born into your world. Sometimes they make themselves known to you before you incarnate into your world. Sometimes you agree with them that you will volunteer to perform certain tasks. It does not matter what name you call them, they are there. They do not leave you. Their task is, as it says in the Bible, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee. These are the angels of light who surround their charges, whose self-imposed task is to guide, to guard, to sustain, and always to point the ways to the spiritual path that ultimately leads to mastery. It is not an easy path. It is strewn with rocks and boulders. It becomes increasingly difficult as familiar landmarks have to be left behind. But as correspondingly low as you may think that you go, you can rise, and the heights to which you can aspire are infinite. Perfection is not a process that you will attain. It is one which you will always be in the process of attaining. If you wish to gain the prize of the Spirit, you must prepare to make sacrifices, but once attained, they can never be lost. We are aware of all your difficulties, your problems and your desires. We know that you will live in a material world. We have access to the sources of supply to ensure that those who serve will never go hungry or thirsty. All that is necessary will be provided. And this reading very much reminds me of some words that Ashley shared on his philosophy evening a few weeks ago, with the words of Ralph Steadman, that was saying that guides are almost like the hostel at the beginning of your pathway, and you're shown the map, and then you're sent on your journey. And then evening time, you go back to the hostel, you have another quick look at the map and speak to your guides. But then your pathway is to cross the mountains and the valleys to go on that pilgrimage. So very much, we know that we're guided by the individuals in the spirit world, but it's the fact is, once we're on that journey of pilgrimage again, we're on our own, and we have to know what pathway we need to take. But we also know that we'll be provided with the food and the drink to get there. So, please do look at Silver Birch words. If you've never read Silver Birch, there is some great teachings there. So thank you for listening to me.
Right, a few names to say hello to. They've all gone. There's nothing on the screen. We're having a laugh today, aren't we? Yeah, they've all gone, so I'm sorry about that. I did see Julie Caswell. I now see from Dawn Collinson. Good morning, Dawn, welcome. And I also saw Kim Byrne, one of our healers here at Wimbledon, and Mary Dixie, and Shirley, and Phil, and Jim, and Lorna. Once again, Lorna, hello. And I hope you're feeling better. We've got a few of our friends going on a canal trip to Norfolk, so I know they're going to try and look in today. There's 4 of them. Having some fun. Good morning, Carol Baker. Welcome to the church. Christina, good morning and welcome. Eddie, thank you. Good morning. Julie, once again, thank you. Billy Joe, thank you very much. You're walking from Scotland. Welcome. I hope you understand our language. Good morning, Phil. Welcome. Hope you're feeling a lot better, my friend. Christine from Spain, hello, good morning to you. Hope you're well. Whitney, good morning. Welcome. Mary Dixie, once again, thank you. Helios, hello, welcome to the morning service. Sharon, good morning. Always think it's your nan coming through when I see that picture, first of all. Ivy Davis, wonderful medium in her time. So friends, I'd like to thank everybody for signing in and welcoming. We're now going to ask Marcus for the address for the morning. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you very much, Ray, and good morning to everybody. And first, can I say thank you to Ray and Jackie and Ash, because he's the technical guy, because during the pandemic, Wimbledon Spiritualist Church has kept open and it's spread out the message of spiritualism far and wide. And I'm glad the reading was about Silver Birch, because I've read quite a few books by Silver Birch, and I'd like to talk just for a few minutes about the philosophy of spiritualism, because the beauty of the pandemic and the way it's going on is that we are reaching more people. But the message of spiritualism is not just those messages from those loved ones. It's not just those messages of encouragement that they give us. It is most importantly of all the message of a continuation of life for all. And as Jackie mentioned in her reading, you know, we talk about those people that help us from the spirit world, those guides, those friends, and those beings that can draw close to us to try to guide us on our pathway. But the beauty about spiritualism, and what I personally love about it, is that we have what we call personal responsibility. And when we talk about personal responsibility, that means that me, nobody else, it's my responsibility. I am responsible for my actions, my thoughts, and my deeds. And when we're on this spiritual pathway, we have to understand that when we have that proof of survival, and we know that when that physical body falls away, that we as individuals continue on, we have to prepare for that. No matter what religion you profess you belong to, no matter what spiritual leader you follow, no matter what spiritual book that you read, you as the individual are responsible for your spiritual growth. And I can remember quite a few years ago when I was in Austria skiing, and it was funny that Jackie mentioned about the mountains, because I prepared something this morning to talk about an experience I had when I was skiing. It was the last run of the evening, early evening, and I found myself on the slopes by myself, and just no noise whatsoever. And I looked at the beauty of the mountains, the beauty around me, and I thought, God, you were just absolutely brilliant. I wasn't concentrating, and a couple of seconds later, I ended up in the snow because I fell over because I wasn't concentrating. But I was so touched by God's creation. And when I skied down the slope, I was sort of in another consciousness. I was walking on air, so to speak. And I looked at the beauty of the buildings that surrounded me in the Austrian Alps. And the Austrian people look at their buildings and their surroundings, and they don't want to be out of tune. They don't want their buildings to be out of tune with the beauty around them. And it really, really touched me. Until I walked around the corner and I saw a cement mixer. And I saw building blocks and I thought, my goodness gracious me, yeah, that's the reality. That's where we start as a soul. And as the building blocks are there, when we come into this physical body, we have to understand that we have to attach those spiritual things to our soul to prepare ourselves for what is to come. So as individuals, when we walk in this physical pathway and spiritual pathway, we'll have so many people in the spirit world that will want us to progress. They'll want us to go forward. Because when that physical body falls away, when we go to the spirit world, we are not going to be out of tune with our surroundings. We are going to be in the place that we have earned spiritually, not materially. So as we walk this pathway, we as spiritualists, we can't change the message. We just can't. We talk about love and we talk about tolerance. And some of you might think, well, tolerance, he doesn't understand the neighbours that I live next door to, or he doesn't understand this, or he doesn't understand that. And it's not about that. It is about us as spiritual beings reaching out and trying to touch on people and being tolerant with their faults and our own faults, because we're all flawed individuals, and trying to attract those spiritual attributes onto our soul to prepare us what is to come. Now, as a medium and as a working medium, we week upon week, especially if you've tuned into Spiritual Psychics TV over the pandemic, you can see that we're reaching out and we're touching on people. We are proving survival day upon day upon day upon day. And when you have that proof of survival, the responsibility then is yours. It's for you as an individual to structure your life around that knowledge of a continuation of life for all. And hopefully today we're going to prove survival. And if I don't prove survival today, there's always another medium, another day. But what we do have to look at is that we have to live this physical life. We have to live a spiritual life. And we have to try to interblend the physical with the spiritual. And those people in spirit that come to help us and come to guide us, they always say the same thing. Look to yourself, look within, and try to serve in some way. Because true spiritual love is where you as an individual put yourself to the side and offer yourself in an act of service. And I've said this a few times, our lives quite often is so difficult in this physical body, so difficult, especially when we lose the physical presence of someone, because that affects our whole being. But we must have that confidence that when they come back to give us that information of a continuation of life, they want the best for us. They want us to live a spiritual life because they fully understand what we will have to come, as when that physical body falls away, we continue on. I do thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you and do a little talk before we move into the demonstration. But to me as an individual, I think the philosophy of spiritualism is so important. And again, I thank Wimbledon Spiritualist Church for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Marcus. And you're so true. The philosophy of spiritualism is not spoken about enough. So I'm so pleased to have heard your talk today and the words of wisdom that you've come through you and your inspirers. So it's so good, and we look forward to you perhaps working with us again in the future. We're now going to come to part of the service where Marcus will demonstrate his gifts of mediumship. Please remember, when replying to Marcus, there's a 10 to 20 second delay. So if Marcus is saying something to you about a name or a place or a personality, please answer with what you're clearly saying. Like if it's, I've got a Mary here, that's my nan or my mum or my great aunt. So be clear as possible as you can with your descriptions. And I know Marcus will do his utmost to sort this all out. So all of you join together, sending up your love from as far away as you all are. Send up your love to our medium, Marcus, and gave him the strength and the light to go forward with his mediumship. And I know Marcus will have a wonderful morning with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. As Ray mentioned, this part of the divine service is what we call communication. I offer myself as a channel, and my friends and helpers, they send me sounds, they send me feelings, they send me pictures. I interpret that information, and I try to prove that we are communicating with those that have passed on to the spirit world. Straight away, please make sure that you tell me what, if you're saying yes to something, please tell me what you're saying yes to, because as Ray mentioned, there is a delay. There's about a 15-second delay. But the first communicator I've got two names. The first communicator I've got was as Ray was speaking, I started shaking, and I got really cold, and I was shaking. And this communicator's name is Jane, but she also gave me the name Sarah. So, and it is definitely 100% not Sarah Jane. It's not Sarah Jane, it's two separate names. And the person that should be able to link with this lady, and this Jane is the lady that's communicating in spirit. Before she passed, she had some sort of fever, and she was quite shaky. And she's putting this on me now, and I'm shaking. And she's also given me the date, May the 4th. Now, I don't know what that date is yet, because she's fired it at me. But the part of the personality of Jane is that at the time that she was ill, she used to go through these periods where she couldn't stop her body shaking, and it was as if it was affecting the core part of temperature and everything else, and I know that, you know, when someone shakes it, there's various different reasons for it. But this was specifically as if she couldn't get warm. She just couldn't get warm. Now, she has told me a couple of things as well, because she did have a blood disorder that she was on medication for. And also, whoever links with this should also be able to deal with someone this side that is either having or suffered with some sort of bilious ducts and some acid reflux. So hopefully something is going to come up on the screen there where hopefully someone can take this. I've got a lady, just to recap, I've got a lady, Jane in spirit, who's the communicator. She's given me the date, May the 4th, and she did mention the name Sarah. Hopefully Richard might put something up in there in a second. And I know because she's so powerful at the moment. She is literally making my stomach shudder and put this feeling of cold on me. Now, I know it's not that warm a day, but hopefully someone can link with this lady. She has told me as well that when she was talking, because we're trying to deal with a bit of her character, when she was talking now and again, if she was a little bit nervous, her voice used to break a little bit. So she's trying to start the words off, she was saying, trying to start the words off, and if I was a bit nervous, my voice used to go down a little bit, and I used to get worried, and then I used to get a little bit over nervous, so then that used to affect her as well. So that's just part of her personality. She's fine now, she's fine, and she is literally trying to get through. So I haven't seen anything come up on the screen, Richard. I don't know if anybody can take this. So no one can take this yet. Okay. I've also been given the 17th of November. I've also been given 17th of November as a birthday. If anybody can link with that. And also an anniversary of a passing on August the 1st. So I've been given August the 1st. Don't necessarily link it to the Jane in spirit if you can't, but if, what we're trying to do, I have to deal with the communicator. They are the one that's come through, and I'm not going to change that. But they do give us other information to try to link in with various different situations. So I've been given 17th of November and an anniversary of her passing on August the 1st. I'm just putting that to the side now, because I just feel someone else coming in as well, because this lady, she was making me shake and she was shivery. And what else she was telling me, by the way, was that her parents lived until they, I can take that, my daughter sounds like my mum. Okay, is that Michelle? Is it Michelle? Can I work with you then, please, Michelle? We've had a few technical issues, so please bear with us. Most importantly was the shaking, because that's how she used the clear sense inside of my nature. Right, okay. And what she's doing, what she was about to tell me just before you come up on screen was that I feel that the family lived, her parents or her grandparents, or definitely her parents, would have lived to a ripe old age, but she didn't. That's what she's telling me. And again, hopefully you can take the fact where when she was a bit nervy, she used to either have a little bit of difficulty sort of getting her words out and sort of things of that nature. And she's also telling me now about who is it that does this with their neck? They've either got a little bit of a problem, but yes you can. Okay. And they're doing this, so there's someone this side that's got either a problem with their neck or whatever, because she's talking about that. But what else she's talking about is someone my wife once told me, when I asked her to marry me, as long as we can always have a dog. She told me that straight out. So there was someone this side that really, really loves dogs, because your mum, she if this is your mum, she's talking about saying, a real dog person. So I hope you can take that as well, because she's talking about that. And there should also be a memory of some sort of rescue dog that had mirror image, darling. I'm just have to tell them, because quite often when they show me things, I look at it in mirror image. That there was a rescue dog that had some sort of problem with the left hip, and that's to do with the rescue dog. I can't see all the comments because I'm on split screen. I don't know, Richard, if you can take part. Okay. Richard just told me that because I can't see all the comments. Yes, she passed. Okay, I'm just going to deal with this one first. And hopefully you can take about it, but she's just chatting about that, and she's very confident now. She's very confident. So there's someone this side that needs that little bit of confidence to come through at the moment, because they feel, oh, you have trouble with your neck. Well, you know, thanks for mentioning that, because it's very important. And I've just got, you need more movement. You need more movement in there. So look up some exercises, maybe go to the doctors or chiropractor, whoever you feel happy with. Access healers, you know, because we have some fantastic healers that do absent healing, and it does work, by the way. I have a dog. Oh, you love dogs, yeah, because that was important. That dog part was very, very important. And also now that there's someone this side that really, really needs that little bit of confidence, because she's coming through and she's saying that, you know, we can all have lack of confidence, but when we're sure of what we're doing and how we're doing it, then hopefully everything should ease out, because there's a little bit of anxiety over a situation at the moment. You should also be able to take the birth weight to 7 pounds 3 ounces. You should also be able to take the 2 birthdays in June, an anniversary of her passing in August, which is the gentleman, not the lady, because she's just told me you should be able to take a lady in August as well, but it's the gentleman in August that's come forward, and he is the one that suffered the heart attack. Okay. Yeah, oh, and then you got trouble with the back leg. Well, Michelle, this is so important. It really is so important. And this is what I love about when we get the feedback and we get the communication. It's a 3-way thing, and it's great. But what did you notice the way I just tripped over my words? Now, that was her. Okay? It's the little things at times that prove who they are. So hopefully you can notice that as well. Okay, as I said, you should be able to link with 7 pounds 3 ounces as a birth weight, and there was also a gentleman called Tom in Spirit that died at the age of 73. 73 years of age. You should be able to link with the Tom. But most importantly, this lady's coming to say that the lack of confidence around this person can be sorted. It can be built on, because the heart is there. The heart is there. So there's someone that's really, really sort of has empathy with other people, and that they've got, because what she's showing me, the heart of gold. She's showing me the heart of gold. And so there's definitely someone this side. And I know that's easy to say, and someone says, yes. But it really is meant with the, you know, sort of, with the pure meaning from this lady, okay? Heart of gold, heart of gold. She's also talking about somewhere in the family where somebody was married twice and there was 2 divorces. It's not as if someone went to spirit or whatever. It was 2 divorces, but, and this is what she's impressing me on, everything's inky-dory. So things do work out in the end, okay? Although we have relationships, we have this, that, and the other. Ultimately, we're there. So I hope you can take that. I really do hope you can take some of that later information, as I said, because there is a bit of a 15-second delay, and I've just got to move on to my next link. My next link is a lady. She died at the age of 81. She's. Oh, so you. No, your mum's still here. Hold on, the lady's still here because she's making me trip over my words. So obviously I haven't got across everything I need to. She's put my hands in prayer. So somebody's prayed. Oh, you were 7 pounds 3 ounces. Well, she would know then, wouldn't she? Brilliant. She's putting a serious note on me now, okay? And it's great, on your great uncle was Tom. Oh, that's lovely. It's lovely when it comes together. It's not always important that everybody says yes at the same time or at the right time, because you can go away, you can check on it, and then the information comes through. But what she's impressing me, she wants me to put my hands in, as if I'm praying, like a child prays, so the hands together like that. Now, there's either, they're quite common, aren't they? There's either a photograph or something with a prayer on, so either in the hallway or somewhere like that, or everything else. But she is saying the prayers are being heard. So there's something specific at the moment. The prayers are being heard. She's also shown me that thing about where Jesus walked through something in the sand and is, I only see one set of footprints and that's where I carried you. And they want to get that across to you, that at times you might feel that they're not there with you, but that's where they're carrying you. But these prayers are being heard and they will be dealt with. And I'll leave that with you. I'm glad some of the information could fit in, but as I said, it's not always important. But it's an understatement to say that there's love comes with this, because, it's, the energy is there, but which anyway. Okay? And please, 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 don't doubt. It is her. She is around you, which you know. Okay, and I'll leave that with you. Right, my next communicator is a lady that died at the age of 81. Now, I'm not saying this is her name, but with this, I've got the name of, can't spell that, Shanice. There's someone this side would be called Shanice, and I don't even know how to spell that. She was just mentioned in there. But this lady died at the age of 81, and quite often I ask their name, address, telephone number, because quite often that's how we know people, don't we? But every working medium will tell you, we send out what we want and then they give us what they want anyway. So I've got a lady that died at the age of 81, but what she did say, bless her, she did say she did die on a Tuesday. She said, I died on a Tuesday, and she, what, oh, you have that prayer, oh, Michelle, thank you so much for that. That's touched me a bit, because quite often they don't go away through reading. We move on to the next link, and I just had that little bit of emotion as I saw that, and I got that. Okay, but this lady told me that she died on a Tuesday, and she said she didn't have any visitors on the Monday, and it was like I want to say care home, but Kim, okay, your niece is Shanice, okay then. Oh, can I work with you then, please, Kim? I've got an 81-year-old lady. I haven't got a name yet. She told me she died on a Tuesday, and I was just about to say that it looks like a care home, but the feeling that I've got, there was that extra care there. So I'm not 100% sure if it was a care home or if it was a hospice, because she did have, what she's telling me, and these are her words, she was ravaged with cancer. Ravaged. So if I said she had cancer of something, or she had cancer of this, or she had cancer of that, then quite often that's what we say, don't we? That people have this type of cancer, that type of cancer, whatever. But she's told me she was ravaged with it. But the specific thing is that she died at the age of 81. I don't know if you can take this at the moment, Kim. And as I said, quite often it's not, it's not important if you can take the communicator straight away. Quite often it might be a week, might be sometime later, or you might be talking to a family member. But she settled me down a little bit, settled me down. She wants to quiet me right down. And the thing is, Kim, what's going on at the moment. It's not fantastic, okay? It's not fantastic. And she's just talking about the situation around you at the moment. It's not fantastic. So there's a little bit of emotional upset, and there's a little bit of mental turmoil going on at the moment. I'm not saying it's you specifically, but you should know of this situation, and hopefully when we prove the communicator, you'll be able to, because they're not opening it up to me or anything. Ultimately, what they are trying to say is that they are aware of this situation. I've got reading glasses on today. I've got reading glasses because we had a few technical problems. I've had to go to my phone, which is fine. But what she's showing me is you should be able to link with the gentleman in spirit that used to, and this is a memory, that the right hand side of the glasses had, what was it? A stick, you know the plasters that you use for your finger. It was a plaster. It wasn't tape. It wasn't sellotape or whatever, but it was a plaster. And I've been told that you should be able to take that. I hope you can give me some feedback on that, because they are just saying, and they're using it as symbolism more than anything, that quite often when we look at things, we don't see the full picture. And it's as if they're using the glasses just as symbolism to say, you need to look deeper into the situation, and some of the stress and some of the turmoil will be seen in a different light. Now, I'm a medium, and what I'm about is proving communication. So yes, suicide, she needs an outside. Okay. What I'm about is literally is proving some survival. So it's nice that they talk about what's going on in our lives. Oh, your grants, oh great, oh lovely. Right. Well, you know what type of character he was, okay, Ken? You know what type of character he was. No nonsense. He messed about. He would tease people. He would tease them, and you know why? Quite often, what we call in the army, you're winding someone up, and you wind them up, and you just leave them there. So he would mention something, and he would tease people, and all his characters coming forward now, and he just says, well, if they daft enough not to understand it, that's it then, isn't it? And he just mentioned that. So although that he's saying that with the turmoil in you've mentioned it's in the family, and they've mentioned it, is that you need to look at it in a wider perspective. He, by the same token, would always put the blinkers on. He would always put the blinkers on, and that's his character, and I can't change his character. That's his character. He'd put the blinkers on, and there's someone this side, it is quite stubborn. Someone this side's quite stubborn, and when you put the blinkers on, that gets you through a certain situation, but it does not get you all the way. The lady's pushed back in again. She's just pushed back in again. And she just said, no, this is either right or it's wrong. She's just said that if I let him, he'd talk all day. He would talk all day without stopping for a breath. And that must have been a joke. Sort of like an ongoing joke. But she stepped forward, and she's just given me a few bits of information. Right. There's yes, that could be. Well, stubborn's not the word at times, Kim. It gets you through certain situations, and sometimes it's okay, but other times you just have to widen it out a bit. You should also be able to link with a young girl, and you might have to go back a fair while for this, because I've just been given that she was 10 years old, and she had either I don't know the medical terminology for this, but it was basically a hole in the heart. She had a hole in the heart, and she was quite a poorly child, but she did get to the age of 10 years old, and they just want to bring that. That's a bit of a memory, because we know the children grow, and they grow in spirit, and they come back as they are, just to prove that they've lived. You should also be able to link with 2 birthdays in December. You should also be able to link with an anniversary of a passing 4 days after Christmas, which will be the 29th of December. That's an anniversary of a passing, by the way. And you should also be able to link with, what was that? Okay. I was about to say link with, and they showed me there was a problem with some sort of necklace, links in a necklace, and it had to be, the first person couldn't do it, or it was taken to somewhere, they couldn't really do it properly, and someone else, and I feel this would either have some sort of sentimental value as well. They don't often show me jewelry, but they just notice that. So hopefully you'll be able to link with that, but specifically with the 29th of December. And the thing is, Kim, they want to give you encouragement. There's no doubt about that. But also what they want to do, Granddad's bringing these glasses and saying, just because they were taped up, and everybody used to laugh at me, didn't mean that I couldn't see what was right. You'll have to ask about the little girl. Well, when you do find her, as I said, she was 10 years old, because she did not make the age of 11, okay? Definitely didn't make the age of 11. Birthday, yes, December, not sure, the passing on the 29th. Well, look into that. Let's say everything doesn't have to fit on the day. The whole idea is that we prove survival, and you will decide whether we prove survival or not. But please, 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 take that love. Widen out. Be focused and be stubborn by all means, but widen it out, because that turmoil, some of the turmoil can be alleviated, okay? And I'll leave that information with you. And thank you so much, Kim, for giving me that feedback, because that helps me to go along the right lines. It doesn't have to be yes. If it's no, we can try to work it out, but that is so important to mediums. Okay, I'm moving on to my next link, and I'll leave that with you, Kim. Just before I do leave it with you though. I don't know where you live, obviously, or whatever, but they showing me that Madge in Benidorm on the little scooter. On the little mobility scooter. And, Madge used to smoke a lot, didn't she? She used to smoke a lot. So there's also a gentleman in spirit that suffered with lung cancer. Okay? Phil can take the little girl and she was 10 years old. Do you mind if I work with you then, Phil? And Phil, another great medium, you understand how this works, especially coming to an end of one message, it might go on. Rose-coloured glasses claim. Yes. Right. Can I just work with Phil? Because I'm not 100% sure if I am with Phil or not, but could we just ask if Phil can link with, I'm just asking them something specific, just to see if this was with Kim or it's moving on to film, because this 10-year-old girl, I've got you. I've got you. Right. Right, Phil, what I need to ask you, because as I said, I wasn't sure, and you know the mechanics of mediumship, there's no doubt about it. You understand this. What I need to know is, not need to know, I've asked little girl, she's just showed me a hair colour because she was blonde. So, you know, what I need to know, Phil, is the one you can take, was she blonde? And also, you should be able to take, oh gosh, that's an old name. That's an old name. You should be also gent with lung cancer. Okay, and you should also then be able to take Edna, because I've just got Edna step forward, and she's now the communicator. So there's an Edna. That's an old name, isn't it? And Edna's telling me that you know, the I can't even say the word. The typical view of someone years ago, where they used to do the wash day on the Monday, they used to do this, they used to do that. Because what Edna's showing me, and there would be a photograph of this if you can link with this, Edna's showing me with a hairnet with rollers. So it's going back a while. This is going back a while. Just need to know if you can link with that, and just because that's the communicator I've got at the moment. And we all know, don't we, that spirit comes through, they give us messages, they give us information. Yes, blonde, right, we've got the right one then, because Phil, you know more than me, that quite often we need that tiny little bit just to check the well, Edna's the communicator at the moment because she stepped forward, okay, but as long as you've got the blonde girl, I asked her just to give me some, and she said me proud. If you ever find Edna, okay, she died at the age of 73, okay, Edna, she's showing me the hairnet with the rollers and all this, that and the other, and she's also linked with that is the name of David. But let's go back to the little girl, because she's so excitable. Because I'll tell you now, I will tell you now, it's not the first time that she's communicated, because she's very confident. Sometimes they come with a reticence and a little, because it's the first communication and they're not sure and they don't know if we're receiving it right. But this little girl's bouncing with energy. She's absolutely bouncing with energy. She's giving me that energy. So there's something around you, Phil, that needs a lot of energy putting into it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done. There's a lot of structure. The structure is being built, but it's that extra energy and impetus that's required at the moment. And I hope you can take that, Phil, because there's something that's been in the planning stage, and it's there. It's all the structures there. This, that, and the other. Well, I'll tell you now. She might have not communicated with you, Phil, but 100%. I feel that she's communicated before. Maybe not with you, but because of the confidence she's given me. She's just giving me it, and she's putting it out there, and this link and all this, that, and the other. And she's chattering away as little ones do, and all this, that, and the other. But hopefully you can take the information about the structure and various things, and we just need that energy to go forward. And I'll leave that with you, Phil. Thanks for speaking up. And as I said, I can't change that the feeling that she gave me, it was full of energy. And you just as I was about to move on, you must also have, I can totally relate to the energy, because she's, you know, when people have developing different abilities, and they get the band, and they get the tickling throat, and all this, that, and the other. What she's showing me is nothing at all to do with chakras, nothing to do with energy centers. She's just total energy. So I'm going to stick my neck out, as so to speak. Somebody somewhere, and this is an old thing as well, somebody somewhere is either sitting for either physical mediumship or transfiguration, something along those lines. There's somebody's doing it, because they show me that energy, and they show me the build up of various different things and this, that, and the other. I'm not saying that's what the energy's required for, because there's some sort of structure being built and this, that and the other, and they're going forward with it. I don't need to give you birthdays, Phil. I don't need to give you birthdays. They just give me a couple of dates. What? This little girl said, yes. 11th of June, 14th of September, and oh, come on, give me something else then. And a memory of when a wheel bearing went in a car. Okay, and I'll leave that with you, Phil. Okay, thank you so much for putting the information on there, Phil, so we know which direction we were going. Now, my next link. My next link. This is. Okay. Thank you, Phil. Now, my next link is a father. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I know that he's a father. And what I want, and what he's making me say, is Dada, 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 Dada. Not Dada, fast, Dada, Dada. And he wants to, well, obviously it's a family member, because the memory, and I don't know if the person will be on here, the memory is that someone went into either their teens or older or whatever, not necessarily a child, but more into teenage years and adulthood, that would still call, oh Ian, hello Ian, mate, I'm a fantastic medium, that would still call the parent Dada as a term of affection.
Marcus, it's Ray from Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I used to call my granddad Dada.
Right, here we go then, mate.
And I still called my dad, when he was with us, Daddy and Dad, quite openly when he was in hospital.
Right, so, well, I'm with you then, Ray, if you don't mind. If
no.
You don't mind. Yeah, okay. Because the impressive thing was that, you know, quite often when children get to a certain age, they stop that term of affection. Do you understand?
Yes.
And there was no thought of that at all. It was just that pure love, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And what's coming forward is it was as if it was more than a physical understanding of the love. Do you understand?
Yes.
It was a journey of
yes.
trust that was built up. It was the journey, and it was that coming together of souls. And I don't want to sound too cliche, you know, as if it's a cliche. Do you understand?
No, I do understand you.
Because children always look up to parents, even, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. But
quite a few of us in the family called my dad Daddy Dell.
Oh, wow.
Even in public.
Yeah, well, this is it. And the thing is, quite often, with this is why they made sure that it was past the teenage years and into adulthood and everything else.
Yeah.
I've just lost all feelings in my lungs. I've just lost feelings, and so there's someone in spirit that couldn't get that full breath of air before they passed. Do you understand? Had some sort of illness, and the lightheadedness came with it. The oh God, they're making me a bit tearful now as well. They're putting a bit of emotion on me.
Yes, I understand that.
They just couldn't get the strength. They couldn't. And what they want to get across to you is, I just couldn't get the strength to breathe. I wanted to stay, but I just couldn't get the strength. And also, I'm sure whoever this person is, someone was holding their hand as they passed. someone was holding their hand as they passed, and it was as if, you know, when we hold in people's hands and we stroke the hands. Whoever was holding the hands was sticking their nail in the bottom of their finger.
Okay.
Okay, just to see if you know if there was feeling there.
Fairly sure that was my mum with my dad.
Yeah, and it's just touching it, just to put the feel in there, and they put a few tears on me just to say, well, love never dies, does it, mate?
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Oh God, this is an old one. This is who is it? Who is it then that used to call someone cocksparrow? The old cocksparrow.
My dad would have used that phrase.
You know, and there's me Welsh, and you know, it's like, you know, like these. Got my mate from the.
I think he used to say that to his grandson, my son, Ashley.
Wow, me old cocksparrow. You know, I've got a mate from the East End, you know, who lives up in the Midlands, and they're showing me a couple of things of all that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll just leave that with you, mate, because it was.
No, I understand that.
The Dada.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And if I'm addressing my granddad, I still call him Dada.
Oh, wow. Right, there you go, mate. There you go. It's not for us to do.
It was him that got me into spiritualism. When he passed, he came back to me.
Oh, wow.
And I would sit and talk to him for hours until my nan that he was all right, he wasn't dead. So it's a long story.
Yeah, you're well.
Waffle.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'm just moving on to my next link. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. Right, Richard. I hope you can hear me, Richard. I don't know if everybody could hear Ray there, because I can only see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was getting a bit tearful then, but you know that's the way they do it. That's the way they do it. They use the clairsentient side of our nature, and the love that was coming forward was just pure love. And the beauty is that, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, the beauty is that when we get over that embarrassment with our families, quite often it's the way in which they bring us up that they know there's something special to come. So they know there's something special to come for us, and that's what I got from this person. The next lady I've got, she died. Okay. She died at the age of 93 years old. 93 years old. She, although she's telling me, although that she did have a heart condition, it wasn't the heart, that she did not have a heart attack. It was literally the heart just stopped working. So she didn't have a heart attack. She's telling me the whole, and this is the way she's saying it, the old heart just gave up. And hopefully somebody can deal with her, because that's a ripe old age, that is, isn't it? 93. There's someone this side that hopefully should be able to link with. She's just making me draw like a little family type tree at the moment, and I don't know if this is family or if it just links with the person here. And there's someone Susan this side, and the Susan would link to a Steve, but he would call Steve, not Stephen. You know, people would only call him Stephen if they're angry with him. And there's also a link. There's also a link with, a doctor. There should also be a link with a doctor who's in spirit. So I've got some information. Have we got any takers on that? Right. Oh, right. Okay, Lorna. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we've got two takers at the moment. We've got Lorna and Sally that I've just been told that can take it. I can see Lorna's on here. Now, the specific thing is, because obviously, I'm going to night past. The specific thing is that this, which one of you, either Sally or Lorna, can link with a Susan that links to a Steve this side, and can also link to to a doctor. Yes, even so. In-laws, right. Can I speak to you then, Lorna, please? Because, this lady comes through and she brings the character, which I love. I love it when they use the clairsentient side of my nature, because we get every single bit, what they like, how they like, and whatever. Now, because she's impressing quite a few things on the clairsentient side of my nature, then there's someone this side that she's talking about, that's having breathing problems. Two gunshots lost. Right, so we've got a Tina, right? So can everybody, if there's 2 or 3 takers, can everybody look in? But I do need Lorna back up on the screen, please, Richard. Because right. Yeah, so okay. So sadly I'm Lorna. Right, Lorna, what I need to know, because obviously we know that the message is quite often unparalleled. And I might have I need someone this side that has either trouble breathing or some sort of chest condition. That's how this one's going to be separated. Because I've got either a chest condition or some sort of way where I don't believe it's life-threatening, this condition. I just believe that it is a condition that people are taking medication for, that they can cope with, but it is a condition, and it plays with the worry on the mind. And I just need to know who that's for. First and fourth, right? And I've asked them to try to separate asthma and family. Okay, Laura. Right, can I speak to you then, please? Okay. And this is nothing at all to do with the health condition, this side, anybody with asthma or anything else, because that was just to separate the message, because I think that I might also have a link with the other person that can take some of this information, and some will be for you and some might be for that person, okay? But there must be a situation around you, Lorna, that, because this lady's talking about it, that at times life is so hard. There's no ifs or buts about it. At times life just seems that we're on that treadmill, whether we're working or not, whether we're in employment. At times life just feels like that treadmill. And I feel that someone this side would use that terminology. Oh, life's a slog. Life's a slog. And if they do, what this lady wants to put across is, yes, life is a slog. There's no doubt about it. But we have to get on with it. We have to cope. And we have to use everything we can to get us through. And if you can get that through to whoever this is going on around, I really feel that they'll look at something from a different perspective. Because quite often mentally when we're down and emotionally when we're down, then it was hard going. And the character of this lady, the beauty of this lady is, she was always there. Yeah, we can do this. Always look on the bright side. Always look on, that, there's the name Eric as well. There's the name Eric, and I'll tell you a little secret for those budding people that are developing at the moment. As soon as I said always look on the bright side of life, they showed me Eric from Monty Python's. I said Eric Idle, I think, or whatever. And that's how I got to the name Eric. But there is definitely Eric as well. And March the 3rd is a birthday. March the 3rd is a birthday. And And now I'm not 100% sure if this is for you, Lorna, or someone else that could take the 93-year-old, okay? And this is what I need to know because another communicator's come in. The doctor that I mentioned in spirit, Eric, her cousin, very close. Oh, well done, Laura. Thank you. That's so important to get that feedback. So important. Very close. Okay, Eric. So the 3rd of March, you should be able to link with the 3rd of March. Now, the doctor that I mentioned as the communicator that's just stepped in, unfortunately, he did commit suicide. And I really need to know, Lorna, if you can link with the doctor or if someone else that could take a 93-year-old could link with that, because I did feel as if there was a slight, not a disconnect, but the energies from this 93-year-old did change because she was a very positive lady. She was going forward. The doctor's just stepped in. He's given me some specific information about how he took his own life, because he took his own life through tablet form and possibly, I'm not sure if there was an injection or something, but it was medical. That's the way in which he used his knowledge. He used his knowledge as a medical doctor, and because there's a lot of doctors of philosophy and all this, that, and the other. But this was a doctor of medicine, and he used his knowledge of medicine to take his own life. He was quite a troubled man, and the information that he's given me, don't understand the doctor. Thank you. Well, take all the other information, Lorna. Thank you so much. And there's I don't know if I've given these out or not. They've given me dates of the 1st and the 4th of April. So Lorna, they're just saying, the 1st is April Fool's Day. Don't be a fool over a situation, okay? A fool over a situation, but just be yourself. Because I tell you now, you've got it, girl. And I'm hoping that she'd use that, because I would not use that terminology. You've got it, girl. You've got it. Okay, and I'll leave that with you, Lorna. I do need someone who can take this doctor. I don't know if there's any takers, Richard, because he is the next communicator. There's 2. Okay, could you put them? Say again, sorry? Andrea, yeah. Okay. Right, now I've been told that I can answer took his own life. Right. Thank you very much for that, Sandra, because the doctor came in during the communication of the 93-year-old. Now, I'm not the doctor in my life, and my grandma was 90. She had a son, Eric. Okay. Well, I knew that something was running parallel. Now, I'll be honest with you, Karen or Sandra, I don't know which one of you're with, because I felt the doctor, and this is the specific thing, is one of you should be able to understand where he used his knowledge of medicine to take his own life. And now linking with the doctor, because he stepped in, because obviously to be a medical doctor, you're of a level of education that's beyond the pale for some of us. And what he's impressing with me, he did love his job. There's no doubt about it. He loved the work that he was doing. He did suffer with depression. There's no doubt about it. I don't know if that was common knowledge or not. He did suffer with depression. And he also, and this is the important thing, he was a very, very detailed man. He would always he had the caring nature. Some doctors are very mechanical and they're brilliant, but they are very mechanical. This particular person understood how people felt, and I think it was more because of his own condition of, he suffered with depression, that he had that empathy with people. He had empathy with his patients, so he could relate to certain situations. And his mum and dad went to spirit before him. Okay, his mum and dad. So that should settle it out. That should settle it out. Yeah, he used a mixture of time. Right, I need to talk to you then, Cal, because if you're aware of that, and Sandra saying he had deep depression, right, if we run in parallel again, we've got two, then hopefully one will be able to take one will be able to take the other. But the one I've got at the moment is telling me his mum and dad proceeded into spirit. And the what's he saying? Right, one of you will understand this. Before we came on today, we had a few technical issues, and to be fair, I've got someone that works with me that sings me a little song if I'm getting stressed or if I'm getting worried about something. And there's three little, so and they've just used something out of that song in a different format. One of you will understand. It'll be all right on the night. So I feel as if I'm with Sandra, to be honest, now with this one, this specific. Oh yeah, this is running so parallel. It's unbelievable. I'm sure, can Sandra take the saying, it'll be all right on the night? And can Karen take a birthday on the 9th of September? Oh, right, yeah, Karen, can you take the 9th of September? Plus the kind of birthday before. Oh my goodness gracious. Right, I really think that I've got two here. I really do think that, and I'm not trying to make this fit. So always sings to me, and my husband always sings to me in messages. Oh wow. Right, Sandra. Somebody's played with the pendulum, Sandra. Okay. Karen, I'm still trying to work out if you've got the 9th of September, because, and there's some. Oh wow. This is such a powerful energy that I've got. Such a powerful, and I'm asking them to separate it, and it looks as if there's an interplay of things. There's Dr. Schoolford singing out to us. All right on the right, Sandra. Okay. Can I just deal with Sandra for a second, and I'll talk to Gavin in a minute. Okay. 9th of September is my granddad's birthday. Right. Can I just speak to Sandra first, because I have got information for both of them. Right, Sandra. Yeah, you did the pendulum as well. Well, let me tell you, Sandra, holding your hand like that, so you know yourself that it's not moving, you moving it, it's not going to make any difference, okay? Because it's the energy that they use inside you. And whatever you're doing at the present time and moment, Sandra, whatever you're doing, whichever direction you're going or you're feeling, whether it's to do with your abilities, to do with healing, to do with whatever it is right for you. Don't let anybody distract you. Don't let anybody plant the seed of negativity, because in the past, Sandra, you have had people that have tried to whittle away either at your self-confidence or something of that nature. And what it is, it's either your time to shine or your time to grow, whichever it is. And somebody would use that as well. And although you might be a confident person, you might be out there with it, this, that, and the other. When somebody whittles away at your self-confidence. It does get to us deep inside. All I need to do is just give you it. Say, yeah, your time to shine. That's for you, Sandra. Could I speak to Karen, please? Right, Karen. Okay. Little bit more somber. Little bit more somber. Somebody needs to bite their lip at this present time and moment. It's not going to be long. The situation, when someone does someone a disservice, it is not the person that had the disservice done to them their responsibility. It's the person that's done the disservice. And I feel that there's something around that, around you, either a family member or you individually, and all you have to do, or you must try to do, is be a little bit more analytical of why someone's acting in that way. If you can understand that, you will also know that no matter how hard we try at times, it is not good enough for some people. And most importantly of all, we have to try to look at what's best for us, not just please someone else. And I feel that I've separated that with Sandra and Karen, because Karen, you need to, because the impression that I've got, no good's going to come of it, and it's only, we have to take information, we have to reason it out, we have to be rational about it, and I'll tell you now, it hurts, but we have to suck it up, and I feel that you will get through it. There's no doubt about it, because if you think of what you have been through, then yeah, it's just another chapter. And someone also likes Stephen King novels as well, I've just been told. And now we're moving on. I don't know how the time's going.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We've actually gone over. I know we started late, Marcus, but it'd be lovely to finish on that triple that you've just done. I know I'm going to be unpopular in saying to you that we have run out of time.
Well, somebody just shouted, "Time, gentlemen, please," and his name was George.
I have to tell you, I have an Uncle George that was a publican.
Oh, there you go.
When he was alive, so he's probably here to help me, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Okay.
No.
And as I said, it's been a wonderful demonstration of mediumship and, the communicators, and there's been so many positive remarks that have been on the screen that you may not have seen, of people saying that there's been some really wonderful evidence here. And the evidence you gave, Ray, I mean, Dada is not something you necessarily call a dad, but, that's the first time, I think, Granddad, that was very special. So I really appreciate that. And I thank my Uncle George for bringing the bell for me. So I have to make a noise. And thank you. And you'll definitely have to come back to us at the church. So that will be wonderful. So we will be in touch. And I speak for everyone that's been listening this morning that we've had a really uplifting morning. So thank you very much, Marcus. All right.
It's been my absolute pleasure. And can I just thank Wimbledon Church for the platform that they've given everybody through the pandemic. It's been so important.
Thank you. That is the one bonus, that we're able to ask people to serve our church and not worry about the distance. And in fact, it saved everyone a favour. The church is cold this morning. Ray and I have actually wish we had our coats on. So we're going to go have some soup in a minute. So everyone that's at home listening, at least you've got your central heating on, if you need it, because it's a little chilly here. But as I say, I think that's all the spirits that are here in the church.
I think people should make a donation via PayPal.
Yes. Well, we've still got to pay for our Wi-Fi and all our other expenses. The church takes a lot to keep it going, but
It does, yeah.
we believe that the mission of spiritualism is being fulfilled by reaching more people than we could ever manage in a physical place. So we know our pioneers of the church are very happy that that we are doing the virtual services and reaching more people. So that's wonderful. So thank you very much, Marcus, and thank you, Richard, as well, because without our producer down there in Portsmouth, working it out, without Richard James, we would never have started this, and so that has been really fantastic. And what I would just like to do is to mention that our next Sunday service will hopefully be Sarah Warman, and she's confirmed, so she'll be working virtually. And so we just have a few notices for the spiritual psychic, because it's changed its name slightly. So Spiritual Psychic TV has got the sofa this afternoon at 2:30, and also has a meeting this evening, I think, which is 8 p.m. because 8 p.m. I'm right, Richard, which is the Psychic Investigations, isn't it? Special show, which is great. So, and all we want to say is I just do a very short closing prayer for us all. If we can just link as we thank everyone for being with us this morning, and ask a prayer. Our Father, Mother God, we ask a blessing on all heads represented, all families represented, from all corners of the world that have joined us today, and may there be a blessing with their family until we meet again. We ask this in thy name, and we thank everyone for coming and communicating with us this morning, our guides, helpers and inspirers. Amen.
Amen.
So I wish a blessing on all of you. I would normally say safe journey home, but hopefully you're a little bit warmer than Ray and I here at the church. Okay, so we might wait until we put the heating on and have everyone back here on a Sunday. But it's been marvellous being with you all. And to say until we see you again, and to all of our church family, have a good week as well. See you on Wednesday for those that come to our little service here on Wednesday. Okay, take care everyone. Right, goodbye.